Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks, and in this episode we have got a lot of chaos. I can't really tell you what you do or what we do because we are all over the place, but stick around, stay tuned. We're going to get a lot done, I will say that. And towards the end of the video, I'm going to kind of show off the ship in some actual live gameplay where it currently stands. So you guys will get to see that, what we've done so far, and what we need to do basically, but that's pretty much the plan. Right now I am working on this upper deck. We have this small space in here. Not really useful for too much, considering we have to get a stairwell in here too. I'm going to put a bathroom on this floor, which is going to sound really weird, but this is the main floor where everybody would gear up. And basically this is just going to be a giant equipment room. So I think it might not be a bad idea to have a bathroom in here. We are going to do our best to try to squeeze one in. We have this really, really weird shaped room right here. Probably gonna have to play around with this. To this day, I'm still not super happy with what this room looks like. Really, I kind of have been debating redoing it, so we might redo it. I don't know. Currently, you guys will see in the end of the video what it looks like right now. But again, I might change it all. I'm not super happy with it. I think we could do a better job. I think the space could be a lot more useful is basically what I'm trying to say. So we might come back to this, but for now, I did want to get a little bit of decoration done, and I wanted to get a bunch of equipment sets placed all over this room, depending on what kind of mission you need to do. So that is pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to fill the wall with a set of equipment that, 4 different people could grab, and and then they could just go fight fire. So I gotta add some fire extinguishers in here, but I don't know if we'll get them in right there. I don't know, we might be able to squeeze them in, but one of my main issues with this room, and you guys will see again towards the end, that it's basically all equipment. And then the purpose of the room kind of gets lost a little. So I kind of want to go back, maybe chill on the equipment a little bit, use a lot less than I, might actually need to. And that way, it actually feels like a equipment room because I can put other decorations in there. So right now, it's pretty much just all equipment from wall to wall, and there's a couple benches, and I had a nice little weather screen. Well, actually, it's not my weather screen, it's the weather screen. If you play Stormworks, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. I'm just going to use that one. I can't be bothered to make a quick Lua script. I don't care. But anyways, we are going to add that, and then like I said, just a bunch of benches, equipment, that kind of thing. So originally I had this room walled off, but I think that we're probably not going to do that. So I guess, again, just take this with a grain of salt. We're going to change a lot of things here. This was a couple different recording sessions, so I didn't finish this room. I came back to it. I wasn't super happy with how it looked or what it looked like, so I decided to change it. But that's kind of the process here. This is actually a lot of footage, but I'm trying to squeeze more footage into one video just because I'm doing less videos a week. So I'm still, I'm not trying to drag this build out for 4 months, which would be a completely Al thing to do. But, I don't think you guys would probably appreciate that, so I'll try not to. Anyways, I'm just adding this. It was supposed to be kind of like a secure equipment room, document room, that kind of thing, where you could, process paperwork and people and weapons, that kind of thing, check things in and out, take inventory, just a secure office, basically. But I don't know. I do kind of like this, but I think this room needs to be more centered towards like getting ready for missions, because there's not really any other decks or space on this deck. So it makes it a little tricky. You would have to get all of your gear downstairs and then come back upstairs and then hop in the ribs, that kind of thing. So I want to make that a little bit easier on you guys, which means, obviously moving where the equipment would be closer, which would be to the same floor. Unfortunately, this is the only part of this floor that we really have available other than the hangar. And the hangar needs a bunch of other junk, so it can't be an equipment room. Anyways, we're going to skip past a bunch of that because it was just garbage that you guys didn't need to see. So here you guys see I am just copying and pasting a fire hydrant or extinguisher or whatever you want to call it, a water access point, I guess is what we will call it. I'm putting one of these in the hallway, which is, I think, a good place to have a backup because you can go upstairs and downstairs with it. You can also go out onto the deck just in case the ones on the deck aren't operational. It's kind of like a nice central area. The turret's also right in front, and there is access. You guys will see I add an access hatch from that room to the forward turret so you can get into the forward turret and repair it. That is, I don't know, the forward turret's kind of cool. You guys will see. We're going to decorate that up quite a bit. You guys will be able to go down there and override the controls and fire it manually, like World War II battleship style with the azimuth and the compass and that kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna try to add a manual rangefinder, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do that yet. It hasn't been done yet. So I don't know. I'm going to play around with it. I think it would be a fun thing to mess around with. But again, we'll see. This thing is getting a lot of detail in a lot of places. And so I'm starting to try to pick my battles just because I know it's going to be a laggy ship, but I hate to say this because it's kind of sounds lame, but I'm treating this ship more of like a ship model or an art piece than like something to play with. I know that's kind of silly because everything's functional and it probably would be good to play with, but this one I'm concerned a little bit less about the performance of, just because I really like how it looks and how it's going. So I'm trying to kind of take my time with this build a lot more, if that makes sense, which is, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. At least with like the carrier and stuff, like when you have a carrier, you want to like fly planes around it and that kind of thing. With this ship, it can be a little less optimized just because you're probably a lot less likely to have other vehicles in the area. It's also a lot smaller, so it still probably won't lag as bad as the carrier. But like when I build creations like that, I basically have to think about the lag from the very beginning, just because I know it's going to become a problem. Thank you, Stormworks. Can we please get multi-thread? I know that's not a simple ask. Don't be like me, guys. Don't ask for that. That's a really hard thing to do. But anyways, I know that that's kind of like a limitation of the game. So it's something that I try to think about as I build. And since this ship is a little bit on the smaller side, I'm not as concerned about it. But towards the end, you guys will see we're going to get this thing really, really detailed. And there's going to be a lot of functions to it. So, and a lot of it's just unnecessary. Like all this plumbing that I'm doing down here, there's absolutely no reason to do it. So you really probably shouldn't be doing it, but it's just, I like to do it. I enjoy the plumbing, I enjoy doing the HVAC and worrying about all the life support and the cargo movement, that kind of stuff. So this is just something that I like to do, and if you want to build this way, then do. But if you're one of those people that likes to play career, then I'm probably your worst enemy. So I do apologize for that, but this is just it's just how I prefer to build. So you guys get a 30-part series of me doing plumbing. Lucky you. Lucky me, actually. But enough jokes aside. But yeah, that's just kind of what it's about for me. I enjoy that you can kind of play this game a ton of different ways. And for me, I really like the shipbuilding from a detailing perspective. One of my favorite things about Stormworks is the scaling of everything, actually. I think the quarter block scaling is really, really good. It's not like too annoying to build with on a large scale, but it's also small enough to get a pretty good amount of detail into your creations. And I think it's like a really good kind of balance of things. A lot of the other, I grew up playing building games, so I played a lot of games like this. And a lot of the other games, I always complained about the sizes of the grids, how complex you could get with the microcontrollers, that kind of thing. And I really think from an editor standpoint that this game is just like the best that you can get. And so for me, I kind of just run wild with it. I know that in my heart, I know that there's no other game that I can build things this detailed without getting into basically just like creating assets. And so for me, I just, I go crazy with the ships. And I wish I maybe did it less, just because I don't really have a lot of small creations. I don't really have a lot of good career creations. And I'll tell you the truth, I've never actually played the career in Stormworks, but I have 3,000, well, not 3,000 hours. I have like 2,000 some hours, and it's the groove I've gotten into, and this is what I like to do, I guess. And it's great because if you want to be a madman like me and spend 4 months on one project, you can do that. Or if you want to spend 2 hours and build a plane, you can also do that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of yapping. I know a lot of people are probably not really used to the pace. I know a lot of people kind of say like, oh, the videos are slow, the videos are boring. That's all right. This is just how I build, guys. There's nobody else in the community that kind of gives these long form build videos, and it's what I prefer to do, and it's what I'm probably going to continue doing. I've talked about adding other games in the past, but for now, I don't know. You guys are really liking the projects I have going on right now, and I'm kind of busy in my real life, so I probably won't get to that until later. But down the road, I definitely want to expand a little. I will say, I think that the channel needs to be, I don't know, it's been growing really, really fast, so I'm not really worried about that. I think it'll help if it gets a little bit bigger before we expand to other games, but obviously, I know Stormworks is not like the hugest community, so, I do want to expand the channel a little, but I don't really want to get away from Stormworks, so I think you guys, maybe in the future, you'll see me playing games like KSP or Space Engineers if they ever finally get it running. But, that is kind of going back full circle to the conversation of detailing creation. So those are, some of the games I played when I was growing up. And, KSP is super, super fun. Learned a lot, but, it kind of needs mods and it's got its own issues. And Space Engineers is kind of the same way. I always really liked that game. I put a lot of hours into it when I was younger, but you just can't really get too detailed in that game with the logic unless you kind of get into just scripting everything. And at the time, I didn't really know any Lua, so that wasn't too much of an option. So here we are, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. I know we're just placing junk in the background. I told you guys that we're going to just basically turn this entire room into an equipment room. So that's what we're doing here. I'm just adding different racks of equipment for different missions, really. And right here, you guys can see this is for underwater repairs, underwater recovery, diving, that kind of thing. And then, I have the firefighting set behind us, and I'll add a couple gunfighting sets too. But I'm going to mix the equipment up for the divers just a little bit, just because if they dive in groups, they probably don't all need to have their own glow sticks and their own transponder and that kind of thing, as long as you're smart and you stay together. But they will all hopefully not get too far apart. So you probably can find spares of all of these around the ship. But I hope you guys can kind of see now what I was talking about when I said this room really just kind of turns into a lot of equipment. And, I do want to maybe come back and polish it up a little bit, because I don't mind having this much equipment, but I do think maybe it needs a little bit more work, which we're still working on it. Obviously, there's a little bit more detailing we're going to get going, but I'm going to cram a bunch more different little mission set equipment, stuff, things like that in this room. So you can imagine it's going to get pretty crowded in here pretty quick. All right, well, there you have it, guys. That's pretty much all the building we're going to do in this episode. I did kind of promise we'd walk around and look around at some of the stuff I've done, so we're just kind of walking. And all these buttons I'm pressing are the HVAC. This is a very noisy ship. I do apologize. All the air noises are the HVAC, and the ticking is the electric furnace that's heating up our fresh water right now. That way we can have some warm warm showers up in the Arctic. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We got to work on some controls for the engine, obviously, and looks like we're bobbing quite a bit around in the water. But I just want to get this thing moving real quick, and yeah, we'll kind of continue looking around it a little bit in just 1 second. I just wanted to show you guys how it handles the waves here. I haven't really done any stabilization in it yet, so this is just kind of the hull, and the ballast is working, but the ballast works so slow that that's not really the point of that. It's not an active thing. It's more to balance the ship out. But you can see we definitely ran into the the iceberg there. So we'll have to work on the maneuverability a little bit, and you can see the throttle is also way too touchy. But we'll get all that sorted out. What I did want to show you guys was the weapon systems. So let's head over, and we'll get closer to the island and away from those. But yeah, I did all of this. So these are just flip switches. The only thing that's not really hooked up correctly right now is the MLRS, but I got to work on that. But yeah, you guys can see that it's not super accurate. We're still working on that. The little guns are freaking out right now because low physics is on. We'll see if turning that up helps. Kind of. They're still bouncing around a little bit, but yeah, you guys can see that I got a lot of this hooked up. I'm still dialing it in a little bit. I gotta work on the MLRS, like I said, but yeah, that's pretty cool. That's just some stuff I've done in the background. I don't really share me working on that just because, well, it's a lot of math and boring stuff, but also this is not my controller, guys. It's a really great controller made by, say, SSI and Penny. And I use this on pretty much all of my creations, and it's like cheating, it's like aimbot, and that's because those two are geniuses when it comes to math. So if you haven't seen their creation, definitely go check them out. I think Eight Pennies Deep, I believe his name is, and I think he's got a YouTube channel too, so definitely go check him out too. He's built some really cool stuff. But enough of the ruckus. I'm sorry about all that noise, guys. But that is pretty much all we have for this one. If you guys made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And as always, your support, it means a lot to the channel. It means a lot to me. That's pretty much all I got for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.